Bioshock 2 is not a bad game. It just has the unfortunate role of falling between two games that are widely considered to be two of the best games of their generation. I don't know how to transition from that. Can you beat Bioshock 2 with only a drill? I forgot that I was supposed to be making a video and spent 15 minutes browsing PSN's holiday sale, bought like 10 games, and Bioshock 2 begins. I'll be honest, even though this is supposedly the remastered version, it looks rough. I got to see the final stage in Bedrill's evolution violently insert itself deep into human flesh. That was actually a deleted scene in Detective Pikachu, and I finally got to experience what it's like to shoot yourself. The best part is that you can't prove that this isn't what happens when you die. With infinite universes and an infinite amount of time, there's bound to be at least one dimension where you control a Big Daddy in Bioshock 2 after you die. The upside here is that unlike Bioshock Infinite, I got the drill right from the start of the game. The general goal here is similar to the goal of the first Bioshock: help someone get out of Rapture. I got into combat for the first time, drilled a drill-sized hole into someone's chest cavity, read some numbers backwards, rode the lightning, and Yellow Eyes got kidnapped by an Olympic sprinter. A slight annoyance is that I can't put my left hand down. Much like a mummy in a cartoon, my arms are up whether I want them to be or not. Now, the purpose of this playthrough is to beat Bioshock 2 by only attacking with the drill. The Electro Bolt Plasmid is required to Mountain Dew kickstart a generator, but that's okay because you're not damaging an enemy with it. Outside of the tutorial area, I tried to get my cousin's attention, eviscerated 2 more splicers, and had to pick up the rivet gun to proceed. It's worthless, so after I put a few people to sleep, I wasted all the gun's ammo. Early on, just like the other Bioshock playthroughs, I tried to waste all the ammo from the weapons I couldn't use to prevent any accidental discharges, but I gave up after a little while because that was more trouble than it was worth. The kidnapper revealed herself and kicked my ass pretty good. She had Molotov cocktails lodged in her keister that she used as a weapon against me. I wasn't worried that she would kidnap me. My face is a natural deterrent to that sort of thing. Big Sister fled the scene before Rapture PD could catch her, but her evil knows no bounds. She Titanicked this entire building. If nothing else, it gave the fishies a new place to swim. I think all that death and destruction was worth it. Our aquatic little friends deserve some happiness from time to time. This Big Daddy vaguely reminded me of a dog. You can see why. If you look at it the right way, its head kinda looks like a snout. The bikini bottom looked different from how I remember it looking. I guess this is the part they never show in SpongeBob. Next stop, the Atlantic Express. Another non-drill tool is required to press onward. You're only hacking a door control. It's not an issue. Activating this turret would be, though. I tried to take the train. Sophia Lamb had other ideas. She sent splicers with automatic weapons to turn me into Swiss cheese. It didn't work. Somehow the floor lit on fire and weakened the wood enough for my fat ass to make it collapse. There's no way that floor was properly installed or maintained. After a brief underwater power walking session, I looted the security office, was given the gift of telekinesis in a bottle from the little girl in my head. That was so weird that I ignored that Christmas present. I wasn't even gonna pretend to like it. The drill, at the moment, has 2 methods of attack, just like a real drill. You can insert the spinny part into someone's body, which burns through a large amount of drill fuel, or you can just whack someone with it. Both are effective. Using it as a drill is more fun, but I think that beating splicers to death with it is actually more satisfying. It also lets you conserve fuel for tougher foes. Remember that present I got? It really is like Christmas. It was a gift from a relative. My parents are making me play with it whether I want to or not. It's a toy, you're a kid, stop being a whiny bitch and have fun. Some idiot got their wrench stuck in a piece of machinery that can only be removed from a distance. It's not like I have a 2-foot-long drill and ungodly strength. With the way clear, I was ambushed by more splicers and security bots. The bots are probably the biggest pain in the ass enemy in the entire game, which is to be expected. When you can only attack with melee weapons, a flying enemy will always tend to be a problem. After an elevator ride, I met Tannenbaum, who was conveniently about to flee from Rapture with the children. Her children? She made them, but creating something doesn't automatically make it yours. Probably. Nerds who read law books might disagree, but they're nerds. Their opinions are worthless. I've already made up my mind that I'm right. You're given trap rounds for the rivet gun that you're supposed to use to fend off the splicers Lamb sends. You don't need them though. Jesus got through life just fine without any guns, and if he didn't need them, neither do I. Now that I think about it, The rivet gun is kinda like a nail gun, so you know what, never mind. That's not important. I rode the train, arrived in Ryan Amusements, and began taking orders from Augustus Sinclair. Sinclair is like Frank Fontaine from Bioshock 1, if he was named Augustus Sinclair and acted like Sinclair instead of Fontaine. It was around this time I found the first Power to the People machine that let me pack-a-punch my drill. There are 3 total upgrades, but to get the third, you must get the other 2 first. One basically makes the drill more efficient, which lowers the rate of fuel consumption, and the other makes it do more damage. I figured I'd get both eventually, but I used the drill's melee attack fairly frequently, so the damage boost was the smart choice. With my ticket to ride the train stuffed safely in my suit, I saw that some mental defective had broken the glass with his wife's toy. He can break the glass during emergencies, but I can't. It didn't matter though. I wasn't going to use the machine gun that was now available. I wasn't even going to take it. Fighting temptation is half the fun of being an alcoholic, but you're better off removing the possibility of being tempted altogether. To get the incinerate plasmid, I would need Adam, and to get Adam, a little sister would be required. My vision got all pink and bloody again when the woman in my head gave me another present. I had to take this one. It powered up the drill, hence the name Drill Power. Conveniently, because this is a video game, I got it just before battling the first Big Daddy. It was almost the opposite of the Big Daddy fight from the first Bioshock. Not that that's a surprise, since I'm a Big Daddy too. At least we can finally answer the age-old question of what happens when an unstoppable daddy meets an immovable daddy. With Mosquito Girl safely on my shoulder, I could follow the light towards a body containing Adam. It takes a bit for her to harvest the stuff, and all the while we're being swarmed by slug addicts looking for a snail. It's not that difficult to defend her. Thuggish and leadhead splicers can be killed in 2 to 5 hits from the drill. They almost always have items that restore some health, and because I'm playing at the easiest difficulty, they don't do much damage. There's also health stations all over the place that can be hacked for more health. Once the little monster had gathered all the Adam, the time had come to make a decision: harvest or save. Logic dictates that you save them, but I don't have time for critical thinking. Killing them grants you more Adam, and they're gone from the game and don't exist in the first place, so the choice is irrelevant, and it gives me the opportunity to face my fear of slugs. That's a very real fear, by the way. We had to dissect slugs in a biology class I took a few years ago, and I skipped the class because I wasn't touching a fucking slug. The argument could be made that harvesting them is killing them, and you're using something other than the drill to do it, but I don't think it counts. With $240 in slug money, I gained the ability to make ice my bitch, bought Armored Shell to reduce all physical damage, and was confronted by another big sister. This time I had to kill her. They're more agile than Big Daddies, and are generally considered more troublesome to deal with, as you're given a warning before they show up, so you can set traps and whatnot. The drill is so effective that no traps are needed. Big Sister died, I melted the snow, saw Sinclair in the flesh, killed the goons sent after me, and went to Pauper's Drop. As the train pulled into the station, the big Left 4 Dead guy showed up. You know, the zombie guy. A machine gun taunted me as my finger slipped and I pulled the trigger. I tried to free this Big Daddy from its rubbly grave. I ricocheted the machine gun off a window, interrupted a sacrifice to ensure this fool would stay in heck where he belongs. The big guy showed up briefly. I wasn't really paying attention. I killed another Big Daddy, then played with his body. Just like when you're a kid playing with a ball, the fun stops when you kick it into the stratosphere. The little sister's father mysteriously died several seconds ago, prompting me to take his place and protect her as she plunges her syringe into corpses not once, but twice. Then I ripped the slug out of her head. Brutus got drilled a bit, then ran away like a little bitch. Oddly enough, my brother did the same thing when I pressed the drill into his thigh when we were kids. I don't think there was any permanent damage, but he did use that same leg to press the gas pedal when he hit someone in our high school parking lot. I'm a good brother, and I'm man enough to say that it was 100% his fault. With all those slugs safely stashed away in my pants, I bought more gene tonic slots and went to Pawn Stars where my name is Rick Harrison and my dad is dead. That was a little uncalled for. I needed the research camera that would let me become like that one Marvel guy. The one who learns stuff and can do the stuff after he learns it. I think his name is Batman. The research camera lets you research enemies as you fight them to do more damage or gain special perks. I fought another Bruce and learned the ability to drill dash. I think that's the only time in the entire game you learn some new ability as soon as you research an enemy. Unlike the Charge Vigor and Skyhook from Bioshock Infinite, I actually used this ability. Mostly because it's given to you as a way to attack with the drill without needing a plasmid or something to make it work. Before continuing with the story, I had more magic slugs gathered from nearby dead bodies to increase my power to never before seen levels. Killed the girl. A third big sister tried and failed to end my life that I couldn't even end with a gun. The destruction from Bronson was now clear, and I entered the apartments in search of Grace Holloway. You know, the interesting thing about her name is that I once knew someone who had an E in their name. Grace has a key that I need to continue my adventure along the Atlantic Railway. I got a new tonic here that I left equipped for the rest of the game. Freezing Drill. The drill is infused with dry ice that sometimes burns enemies from how cold it is. The same effect can be achieved by stuffing a Bedrill in a giant freezer with a strong lock, because that thing will almost certainly fight back. Boris lit himself on fire in an amazing act of toughness that ultimately killed him. As soon as he did it, I knew it wouldn't work. I've seen the Rugrats movie. I know how these things go down. After a bit of soul-searching and vandalization, I found the button that granted me access to Grace's room. She doesn't have to die to continue the game. That's a lie. If she can die, she must die. With the key, I retraced my steps, researched more enemies, whacked another Bosley, rode to Siren's Alley, and got blasted out of the train car by a different kind of daddy. It was an impressive shot. Somehow it managed to blast me out of the train car without damaging the train car itself. I was still where I was, Siren's Alley, and another big daddy is here, this one with a rocket launcher. I guess that rocket from 25 seconds ago was foreshadowing. Now that's good game graphics right there. He got frozen by the drill, then didn't really fight back. But he was worth killing. The research boosted drill damage by 50%. Spider splicers also revealed themselves here. They proved to be pretty annoying as my temporary daughter mutilated dead bodies for me. Once the girl was dead, I played with a hangman, looked up a door code on my cellular phone because I didn't feel like searching for it, and got assaulted by multiple spider splicers. They're not tough in the health department, but they can jump up on the ceiling out of reach, can attack from a distance, and are just annoying to deal with. I probably killed at least 8 of them, while things outside the generated area didn't happen because this is a game. If you can't see it, it doesn't need to happen. A headed Bevins then showed up, didn't last too long, and I entered Plaza Hedone, which was a mere stepping stone on my path to the legendary pumping station number 5. A little ways up ahead is where Father Wales and his disciples all died for nothing. Father is a bit more battle-tested than you'd expect from a drugged-out lieutenant serving under a woman with Lamb as a last name. This Father Wales character is what us kind-hearted people refer to as a fucking freak. He ain't even got no nose. Also, you can't move certain dead bodies with telekinesis, but you can hurl giant rocks at them to make them go all floppy. My next goal was Dionysus Park. Lamb wasn't a fan of that plan. She flooded the world in an attempt to stop me, like I was some ordinary man. It did look neat though, when all the bubbles were all over the place and corpses were hanging in the water. In Dionysus Park, a gentleman named Stanley Poole introduced himself, and of course wouldn't let me pass through the park without helping him. Former landlubbers had infiltrated Dionysus Park after the water was drained. Little sisters and big daddies chief among them. Their existence bothers Stanley and probably prevent him from doing stuff, so they need to be erased from Rapture. By this point, I've gotten pretty good at killing little girls. Houdini splicers are introduced here. They're unpleasant to annihilate because they frequently disappear and teleport somewhere else. More often than not, the drill dash thing doesn't work. They'll turn into a red mist, unrelated to being smashed by a giant metal man, and reappear somewhere else. I got another early birthday present from the voice in my head. A rocket launcher. How nice. I thanked her for it and pretended to like it, but it was such a stupid gift. What kind of dumb idiot would give me that? Then again, she technically is my daughter, so I guess I only have myself to blame. To continue, 3 little sisters must die. Well, they don't have to, but there was no way I was letting them live. They're spread throughout Dionysus Park, and Bioshock 2's map is just about the worst thing ever. I harvested all of them. I'd looked at a few gene tonics available to me now, and none of them are anything special or worth having. Big daddies are now painted red, so when I rip open their chest cavity it won't stain their suit. They'll be dead, it won't matter, but big daddies are known for their vanity above anything else. With the 3 little sisters safely removed from the premises, I was given the opportunity to spare Stanley. Obviously I didn't. I played with his dead body, and rode to Fontaine Futuristics to finish the fight. Every section has its own unique person to deal with before you can proceed. This one's is Gilbert Alexander, a man who has long since been driven insane by Adam. His robot halted my progress by sending another rocket daddy to destroy me. He froze, got shattered, and there's no proof that he ever even existed. Just like with the last level, another glorified Easter egg hunt takes place. There are 4 power flip-flops that must be tossed into the incinerator. If you're not even gonna wear them with socks like you're supposed to, you're not gonna wear them at all. I went ahead and unlocked the final gene tonic slot, hoping there would be a trophy for doing it. I would even settle for a digital trophy. I am so shit at living, I couldn't even get a participation trophy for showing up at school. I went to the wrong school. They wondered who I was, how I got into the school. The police were so rude to me it was a whole ordeal. I momentarily thought I was stuck when I fell through the floor. I escaped, destroyed one of the signal relays with my mind, then the second, then the third. I faced my fear of being on stage by using my powers to fling the microphone stand up towards the sky, performed a few magic tricks with the Houdinis, battled a big daddy who did a sweet backflip when he embraced death. I shut off the 4th signal relay and got into the security office. Gilbert revealed to me that he wanted to die, don't we all? And that I need to be the one to do it. He's a bitch, and his insanity won't let him believe that he wants to die. He's somewhere in the plasmid laboratory. Fun fact about that word, until maybe a year ago, I didn't know that lavatory and laboratory were different words. In his insanity, Gilbert had shut off the lights. I turned them back on, and again had to track down nonsense. There were special plants, if you know what I mean, that would lure old Gilly out of hiding. It might just be these virtual plants that I haven't even collected yet messing with my mind, but the tank kinda looks like a giant plasmid bottle. As we're nearing the end, big daddies, specifically the Alpha series like me, are being sent after me. I'll spoil this now. There's nothing in the game that's much of a challenge to kill anymore. Even taking on 2 Alpha series at once isn't that bad. Big sisters are a slight nuisance, only because they don't show up immediately. You have to wait for them to scream a few times first. Once I collected all 4 Adam-infused plants, I went back to the control panel and called out Gilbert. He made one last-ditch attempt to impede my plans. As punishment, I had the giant needle rip out some of his genetic code. Then I gave him a very mild electric shock. I thought it was mild anyway. I could tell by the screaming and the blood and the flashing that something might have gone wrong. I assumed it was his fault and left, knowing that I had not made any mistakes. With his key, I accessed the master control panel, which was hiding in plain sight as a gas station, and entered Lamb's hideout. Persephone is the final mission. I know this because legend has it that Persephone was carried off by Hades and made queen of the underworld. Sophia Lamb is in charge of Rapture, a sort of world under the world. See, it makes sense. I'm not stupid. A stupid person wouldn't know that they're stupid, and I know that I'm not stupid, therefore I can't be stupid. This is like that existential crisis I had on Discord a little while ago. I'll pause the video and put up some messages, because I can't go through that again without drinking. Anyway, this starfish looked like it was on the inside, but I couldn't attack it. That was the first sign that this mission might go sideways. Things got better when I had fun flinging random objects around the corner with my plasmids. Fuck the haters, having fun is fun. Then, I finally found it. The quarantine area where that dumb bitch was getting inside my head. I can't break the glass because I can't. What I did get was a tag team assault by 2 big sisters. Right around the time the first one died, I became all-powerful. My drill can now suck the life from enemies as I drill their pain away. Sophia Lamb was in that room too. I hadn't even noticed. As any good mother would, she was willing to kill her daughter to get her daughter's father out of her life. I almost died, woke up, chained to a table, my life got sucked out of me, and I was now a little sister. There's no combat here, and you don't get to see where any of the holes in the wall go. But what you do get to see is possibly what the little sisters see. A world of fancy decorations, and statues and people in suits, and a lovely place to exist. It's only in select circumstances that you see the same rapture the rest of us see. I gathered the pieces of a big sister suit, gave them to Eleanor. She took the slug from my head. I woke up back in the holding area. She freed me, and I was given the summoned Eleanor plasmid. A neat plasmid, if you ever wanted to summon a freak who just killed a little girl. I fought 2 more brutes, removed Eleanor, and entered inner Persephone. Technically, this is still Persephone, so I'm not a liar. Sinclair's escape pod will get us to the surface, but we can't escape because several time periods ago, Lamb captured Sinclair and turned him into Subject Omega, another big daddy, and gave him the key to the bulkheads. Long story short, we can't escape without finding him in the holding wing of Persephone, which is basically just a prison. Sinclair is in pain and doesn't want to exist in his current state. Hey, he's just like me. Bioshock knows me so well. To get to Sinclair, I had to search the cells for recordings made by now dead men who figured out some part of the door code. Or I could have looked it up, but I am not a nerd. I do things right, or I don't do them at all. If I can't save everyone, I will gladly let them all die. It would be unfair to only save some of them. Sinclair has 2 to 3 times the health of a normal Alpha Series large father, but thanks to the vampire drill tonic I got a while ago, it wouldn't matter if he had 1,000 times the health of a normal Big Daddy. He would still die. All the prisoners were let loose, many of them being Big Daddies. Unless you're dim and forgot what I just said, they're not a problem to deal with. Eleanor and I still can't escape. There's a problem with the pod, but she can fix it with enough atom. You know what that means. A lot of kids are about to die. There are 2 wings of the building where they're being held. Each will send a wave of what are supposed to be formidable foes to stop you because, you know, you're trying to kill children, and that's generally a bad thing. The first one wasn't difficult. Houdini splicers are as annoying as ever, but it wasn't anything that couldn't be handled with a bit of effort. Eleanor did all the dirty work. I couldn't bear to watch it. The second wing was far worse, because there were many Houdinis that kept teleporting between the upper and lower parts of the area. Sometimes they were so high that I couldn't even reach them. Time got the best of them. I tried to watch the executions, but all I saw was a green cloud, and Eleanor entered the water to fix the thing. Then the game crashed. And this is sorta why this video is coming out in late December and not June. Bioshock 2 only saves when you load a new level. You can pass by Vita Chambers, which act as checkpoints, but they don't save the game. They might actually. I never died once, so I don't know if they saved the game or not. Pro gamer problems, am I right? Either way, I lost 45 minutes of progress. The most recent save was before I found Sinclair's escape pod. The second time around, I pretty much ignored all the enemies I could. There's no point in going through all this again. I found Sinclair, killed him, cleaned out the 2 areas so Eleanor could kill all the little bitches, and met her back at Sinclair's escape pod. Sophia Lamb made one last-ditch effort to stop us. Big Daddies, Brutes, Houdinis, all sorts of shit. Everything she could send was sent. I wasn't really looting the corpses, so a lot of my health was used up. Sophia then played her last card, sending Persephone to the bottom of the ocean. The area was filling with water. The only way to stop it was to destroy 2 glass pipes to equalize the pressure. I won't lie, I thought this was it. I really didn't think I'd be able to hit them without a gun or something. Luckily, I could jump from the second level and whack them with the drill to damage them. It took a couple thumps each, but the second pipe was destroyed. The room filled with water. Eleanor and I made our escape. Sophia had one last plan. I believe the technical term is a fuck ton of dynamite. I was, of course, left behind to take the brunt of the explosion. I managed to make my way to the pod just in time to see Sophia drown. Eleanor made the right call. She killed me, and I beat Bioshock 2 with only a drill. And that's going to do it for this video about whether or not you can beat Bioshock 2 with only a drill. If you enjoyed the video or learned anything, leave a like. Leave a dislike if you didn't enjoy the video or didn't learn anything. Thanks to the Champion tier supporters, as well as other channel members, for helping make videos like this one possible. Join the Mitten Squad Discord server through a link in the video description. Follow me on Twitter @Mitten Squad. My name is Paul of Mitten Squad. Have a wonderful day.